You're listening to the Shit You Can't Make Up podcast, a conversation with friends, hosted by Marisol Sanchez. You are listening to the Shit You Can't Make Up podcast, a conversation with friends, hosted by Marisol Sanchez.
Hey folks, this is the producer guy Sean. As many of you know, Marisol is out of the country, Paris to be exact. So she asked me if I would guest host one of her podcasts. And after a little reluctance, I said sure. So don't turn it off now. Marisol will be back next week. But in the meantime, I do my best to make you and Marisol proud. Oh, and I almost forgot. There is explicit language. Enjoy. I'm going to start this off the way Marisol would start this off. Oh, hey. That's what she always does. Oh, hey. So this is kind of serendipitous. Is that the right word? Serendipity. Doodah. Because I'm guest hosting for Marisol's Shit You Can't Make Up podcast. And ironically, Marisol and I did together episode 37. And it was called Take Two. Because we had recorded this whole podcast through Skype. And then we realized that we only recorded one side of the conversation. So we had to really do the whole podcast all over again. So this is kind of how this is serendipitous and how it all pulls together is because I referenced a friend of mine in that episode, which is my guest here today. And we've had this conversation before for a podcast that didn't quite quality-wise turn out because we did it at a coffee bar and you could hear the freaking orchestra music in the background. The microphones weren't quite working. So we're kind of going to do, so it's...
And my mic was slipping off.
And your mic was slipping off. So it's kind of like take two of a podcast of which you were referenced in a podcast.
Yes, I was referenced.
Think about that for a minute. All right, don't go deep on that for me. All right, so I'm Sean, but Kim, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Erdley.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm wonderful.
You know, that's the best introduction ever.
So I am the mother of two amazing children, director of a nonprofit organization here locally, and I'm a pretty kick-ass person.
You know, I was thinking about that. I was thinking, you know, how do people introduce themselves? And you, what was the first thing you said?
I'm wonderful.
I'm wonderful. And I thought, man, that's the way everybody needs to introduce themselves, right?
Yes.
Instead of saying, oh, I'm Sean, I work at this, and I have children, and blah, blah, blah. I should just say, you know what? I'm Sean, and you're fucking pissing me off right now. Or, I'm wonderful.
Exactly. Or, I'm awesome.
Or, yeah, I'm awesome. Yeah. I'm sorry, not how I'm feeling, what I am, which is awesome.
Yes.
All right, so I had this idea of doing a podcast. Not just filling in here, but a full series podcast of interviewing my friends, acquaintances, strangers, random people about what makes them happy. And it all kind of came about because I do a podcast with my son, which, you know, we have 4 listeners and you're one of them.
Yes, I'm an
Thank you
avid
for
listener.
Listening. But we had one about birthdays because my son and my birthday fall in the same month within a week and a half of each other. And I kind of got deep on this podcast with him, and I didn't mean to, but it was all in my head about what a shitty birthday I had. First of all, by the way, we're going to curse during this, right?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, all right, we're going to curse. So what a shitty birthday I had and how I felt, you know, I kind of got in my head again and was thinking, you know, you only have X amount of birthdays in your lifetime. I mean, you're lucky if you get above 50, 60, maybe 70. And why isn't that day like the most spectacular day of the year? And it's usually not because everyone else's life has to go on and, you know, the height of expectations. But it kind of got me deep into thinking, all right, Sean, what does make you happy and what is happiness? So I had this idea to talk with friends, neighbors, acquaintances, random people on the streets, maybe even you, this listener, about what makes you happy and is happiness sustainable. And I thought I would call it dissecting happiness because we're not pursuing happiness.
No.
This isn't the freaking Constitution where it's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I want to dissect it down to, like, what is happiness and why isn't it sustainable? So that's a little deep, right?
That is very deep. And by the way, my birthday sucked after you said your birthday sucks, so thanks for that. And then I forgot my mom's birthday, so I'm batting 1,000 right now.
So let me tell you a short story talking about batting 1,000 and really making everybody's, you know, I talked about how I wanted my birthday to be wonderful. This is what I did for my mom's birthday. Thank God for Facebook. So and there's like zero chance she's going to listen to this. I hope
good.
to God. So one birthday, a couple birthdays ago, I woke up, checked my Facebook feed. I'm like, shit, it's my mom's birthday today. Mm-hmm. So I went on Amazon, ordered a bunch of stuff, and totally blamed Amazon for the fact that her gifts were going to be late.
That is so bad.
That's such a weasel move, right?
Yes, it is, really.
I've always been bad with
Did she buy it?
I don't. She said she did, but she probably didn't because she's a smart woman.
Yeah. Well, I had come home after shopping all day. My mother was sitting there waiting on me. And I told her all about the wonderful shopping day Kinley and I had had and the dinner we had had out. And she's sitting there going, I'm starving. I wish you had told me you were going out to dinner. And it didn't dawn on me until she said, oh, well, Jack called me for my birthday today. I was like, you want to talk about feeling bad? Oh, yeah. I had to pay for that. Yeah. Lots of guilt trips. It was terrible. Terrible.
Like 2 inches tall at that moment.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty harsh. That's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
I'm bad with dates. I remember my birthday, my wife's birthday, my daughter, my son, and pretty much that's it.
Yeah, me too. I never got my anniversary right. I would forget Carl's birthday. I'm really terrible. I am. I'm really bad at dates.
I'm almost as bad with dates as I am with names of people that I don't hang out with. Like, oh yeah, how you doing? I'm like, I have no idea who this person's name is. All right, so let's talk about happiness. And, and I don't mean, I have a definition of happiness here. I don't know if you remember this. I read this to you before.
I'm going to pretend not to.
You're like, I have it etched in my brain after you screwed up my birthday. Happiness is a blurred emotion. It can mean different things to many people. As part of a psychologist's quest is to identify all the distinctive applications of the word. Most of us will agree that happiness is an emotional state of well-being defined by positive feelings ranging from contentment to intense joy. So my first question to you is happiness sustainable?
No. I do
That's
not
why
believe
it's pursuing
so.
happiness.
Exactly. No, we're not pursuing happiness. No, I don't think it's sustainable. I think you have to work to be happy. I said that. I definitely believe that.
So, no, when I say sustainable, what I mean is does happiness last like 30 minutes, 20 minutes? I'm like, have you had a day where you're completely happy? Is that possible?
Well, I would say I'd have a day where I'm completely content, but not exuberant joy.
But, is happiness content or exuberant joy or all of the above?
Well, it's all of the above. So, yeah, it's a spectrum. So you go from content, so daily you're fairly content, to other things that give you extreme joy and happiness. Oh, extreme joy. Can't say happiness.
So have you had a day recently where you've been happy or content all day?
For the most part, I would say yes. I mean, there's frustrations in everybody's day, right?
So, are you one of those people that pretends to be happy all day? Because I'm calling that out. That's bullshit. I do not know. You and I know people who are like, everything's rosy and cheery, and I'm like, that's bull.
Okay. Yeah, you could call me out on that because, there's no way. I'm not like that. But contentment, I'm going to go back to baseline. Can we call contentment baseline?
That's from like if happiness is 1 to 10, contentness is like 0.5?
Yeah, there you go.
Is 1, I mean?
There you go. So we'll call that a 1.
Okay.
So I average a 1. I would say for most days I'm content. Now there are days where I'm very frustrated or the cat pooed on the carpet or those kind of things where I'm like, why do I have cats? And why do I have dogs? And why do I have kids?
So I'm picturing a numerical scale of like happiness starting at 1 and extreme overriding joy, like exuberant at 10, and cat poop being at like -4 on the scale. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. But exuberance is harder for me. So I wouldn't say that I attain exuberance often.
So let's before we talk about like what makes us happy now, although I will just say this, I just had this fleeting thought. We should let our listeners know that we are drinking a little bit, right? Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So there's nothing that makes me happier in the moment when you can get a good curse word rant off at the appropriate time, and it's almost like that release of anger and frustration can make you happy.
Yes.
But it's really short.
But it's such an extreme satisfaction.
right? Like
Yes.
I had such a crappy week last week work-wise, and there was a couple moments when I was venting to my wife about it, and I just went in this tirade, and in that tirade I kind of felt happy. But then when I was done, I was thinking about it all over again. I was miserable again.
Yes, but there is like some kind of study, I'm telling you, about curse words actually, or swear words making you feel better.
And what is the best swear word to make you feel better? It's motherfucker,
fuck.
right?
Yes, well,
Some variation of fuck.
exactly. There's no better word because it fits everything.
Right. It can be a verb. It can be an adjective.
It can be a noun.
All right.
Person, place, or thing, yes.
All right. So before we learned all those curse words, before we learned the adult version of happiness, which is apparently curse words, let's talk about childhood. Now, I only bring this up because we already mentioned that this is kind of like take two of it. And there's something that really stuck out about that interview is I need you to explain to all of our listeners about what it's like to be happy in your childhood and how that involves a chicken and a roller skate.
So I grew up out off Glades. Well, I grew up in the woods, let's say. My parents had 7 acres.
Florida.
In Florida, yes. And we had acres, and we had cows and horses and motorcycles and four-wheelers and chickens and rabbits and geese, oh my. And what made me happy, and these were my fondest memories, was horseback riding, riding the four-wheeler, and playing with my animals. So my pigs were pets, and my cows were pets. Like, my brother rode his cow, and we had a 600-pound sow that used to open the sliding glass door and walk into the house. But I had this one chick.
I'm totally. What's that? Wait. I'm totally getting. I got to interrupt here. What's that show where Green Acres? I'm totally picturing Green Acres, that TV show.
It was a little bit nicer than Green Acres. Well, because I was in 4-H, so I showed hogs and I showed steer. And then I barrel raced horses. So they became my pets. And one of my favorite things to do is we had groves that lived past us. So I would race the grove trucks with the workers in them at the end of the day with my horse. And I would open up the horse wide up against the grove trucks as they were leaving, and they would yell us on. So I would do that. It was cool. It was very cool. Yes.
You didn't have a dog named Lassie by chance, did you?
I did not have a Lassie. No. I had Labrador retrievers. Yeah. But like I said, the animals all kind of roamed up close to the house. So we had lots of pasture, but because they were all so tame and really more like pets, I had a Brahma cow that would walk up to the house. I have a really funny story about a Brahma cow too.
So did you ever use them for like meat?
Yeah.
So they'd roam up and like, that's the house that killed us.
We didn't kill them at the house. We had a shed with a butcher shop in it. So
did they ever roam up to the shed?
No. But there was only some that we raised for butchering. So when you show hogs, you don't butcher them as yourself. You auction them off, and then people buy them, like Sonny's Barbecue or Dale's Barbecue, and they butcher it and then sell it to people.
Awesome.
Yes.
So
you know the meat has to come from somewhere, right, Sean?
Yeah. I clearly know that.
Okay.
But that doesn't explain the roller skating chicken.
No, it doesn't.
Wait, this was the 70s, right?
It was the 70s, yes.
Roller skating was the big thing.
It was. And everybody roller skated, and my
Including
chicken roller skated. So when you live out there, you have very few friends, so you entertain yourself. And all of my animals could do special tricks.
Did you ever take them to the roller skating rink?
Of course I didn't.
Play some BGs and let them go?
No.
And just to clarify, you didn't make little roller skates for his legs, right?
No.
Okay.
We put him in one of my roller skates. So we put him in one of my roller skates, and we pushed him, and then with his wings, he would flap his way across the patio.
Do you think he enjoyed roller skating?
I hope he did.
Do you think he was happy in that moment?
I hope he was.
He didn't get little goggles
came back for more. But, chickens aren't so smart. So.
Well, I don't know. This one may be a genius. So did you make a little scarf and like a little?
No,
pilot
I didn't
helmet?
go that far. No.
But we say all that. First of all, I'm just curious because you lived on a farm. Where did he roller skate? Like in the driveway?
No, we had concrete slabs in different areas, like where you wash the horses down, or in the back we had a huge patio area. So he would come up under the patio. I carried my animals around too, so this chicken would just like hang out under my arm and walk with me. So he'd come up to the
He's like,
patio.
nope, I don't think today I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Because I'm roller skating.
So we would just carry him up there, put him in the roller skate, let him go around the patio. And it was funny. It was hilarious to watch. And it was back before you had, America's Funniest Videos or any of that stuff, so I never caught it on tape.
Otherwise, you'd be a millionaire, right?
Right.
Millions of YouTube hits with the roller skate.
Well, that and the 600-pound hog that used to open the sliding glass door and come in and wake me up. That was pretty awesome.
That would be like, did he knock down everything along its way? 600 pounds.
No, but you could definitely hear it coming down because we had hardwood floors.
And nobody was alarmed by that.
Well, no, not in my house. Not at the time. I grew up a bit strange.
Yeah, I don't want to pass judgment, but yeah, I'm going to maybe agree with that.
Yeah.
I grew up in Indianapolis in a city. We didn't have...
Oh, no. I was like I'm fifth generation country girl, South Florida country girl. And my ancestors all came from Georgia. And yeah, so...
Wait, if you listen quietly, everybody listen. I can hear the banjos playing.
Stop it.
So at those moments, though, when you were young, playing with your chicken, that's not a euphemism.
My cows and my horses. Oh, yeah, that's true.
When you were roller skating with the chicken, at that moment, like when you think back about that time, is that a happy time?
That was a very happy time, yes.
And is there anything that in today's world, like not today's world, in your world today that competes with that happiness?
Of course, seeing my, son happy or seeing my daughter happy, or right now I'm fortunate enough to have kittens that are bopping around my living room. So there's nothing better than a kitten. Come on.
So, but when you watch a kitten, right, bopping around, right?
Yeah.
And we've all watched kitten videos. We were all like, oh, that's so funny. I have cats.
Yes.
But at some point you're like, the fucker's going to bite me. The fucker's
he already
going to
has.
shit on the floor.
You didn't see my legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been using my legs as scratching posts.
So at that point, I'm imagining you're not like, oh, he's so cute.
No.
You're like, I wonder if I kick him, how far he'd go.
Yeah.
But so those
Jack thinks like that. No.
but that's my point. The happiness is
fleeting,
is there and gone, right? And it's almost like anticipation of, hey, it's so cute now, but
it's gonna be a cat, and I gotta change the litter.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So how do you capture and maintain that happiness?
I don't think you do.
That's bullshit. Why not?
I don't think it's possible. I think that you have to, and I said this last time, so I think that you have to experience
you can stop saying we said this last time because nobody heard
cares.
it last time.
Nobody cares. So I think that you have to experience the frustrations and other emotions to appreciate happiness or even feel it. That's just my personal opinion.
So besides this podcast right at this moment, which is clearly on a scale of 1 to 10 on your happiness scale, at least a 7,
I'm smiling.
What in the last day or two, goes beyond just being content? Because content to me, that's like, rolling out of bed and you're still alive, and you got and you got purpose. I hope that registers at least a 1.
Okay. This Doers makes me happy.
Happiness
so
in a bottle, a new marketing campaign.
It's going to sound so corny, it's so cliche. The closest that came to pure joy was watching my son, when he saw me for the first time after 2 weeks, run across the parking lot and tackle me down and jump and roll all over me. So
he rolled all over you?
He did. He really did.
Like physically rolled?
Yes.
Like you were down on the ground?
Well, I should say I was still in the car. He didn't even let me out of the car.
Aww.
So, yes. But that's like the closest I would say is absolute sheer joy. But it's fleeting because as soon as he was done with that, he was like, so, can we go swimming now? Can we go get pizza? Can we go get this? Can we go get that?
So that's maybe my thought or point or something I don't think I'm an unhappy person by any means. But I don't think I'm a happy person. I think you can be. I think you can be non-happy without being sad. You can just be 0.5 on your 1 through 10 scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I say all this, and I want to explore this topic, not because I don't want people to think, gosh, that host is really depressed or
right?
a sad person, because I don't think I am. I just don't understand and want to try to get to the point where, why can't we on a to use your scale, 1 to 10 on happiness, 1 being content, 10 being, over the top joyous, why can't we live our lives at a 3 or 4 all the time? Why does it have to be fleeting?
Because life gets in the way.
Yeah, but that sucks.
It does suck. But you got to make money to pay rent, to take care of those damn kids, to take care of those damn kittens and pay the bills. And
do you think we're just programmed, like, as humans? Because what you just said is all responsibility, right? I mean, just saying, paying rent, taking care of shit. Are we just programmed to think that responsibility, you can't be happy with responsibility? Like, it's not
maybe.
like when we're young, we're like, man, I cannot wait to have a mortgage and
right?
credit cards and kids.
It's not what I was thinking. No. I was thinking I was going to become like this high-powered CEO woman that was going to kick ass and take names.
You're the CEO of an organization.
Yeah, but I was thinking like, bringing in, big business cutthroat deal type CEO.
You think that would make you happy?
I think it would have. I have a little bit of a aggressive side to me that maybe sometimes I have to exercise.
What's that main character in Wall Street? Gordon Gekko.
Gordon,
Gordon Gekko
yeah, a little bit. I like
who can I make cry today?
Exactly. I kind of like the thrill of the thrill of the deal, watching crushing other people sometimes. So, and there's no crushing people in nonprofits.
So, when you're sad, the opposite.
Yes.
And we've all been sad, right? I mean,
can I ask you what makes you happy? I'm curious.
No, this is my podcast.
Come on.
No, I don't know. Let's see, what makes me happy? A good song.
Yes.
It's funny, I love music. I think I love music. I mean, I listen to music at least probably 3 hours a day, mostly during the workday, just to shut people out.
Agreed.
But at least, and I love finding new music, but I really like the comfort of songs that I know. But even then, I'm like 2 minutes in, I'm like, yeah, I know the rest of it. Time to switch to another song.
Yes.
So music, I like being alone. Like, I think I'm most, not happy, but content. On your scale of 1 to 10, I think the 2 comes easily when I'm alone. I'm definitely not a crowd person.
But you mean alone, like completely alone, or like alone with your family?
No, I mean alone.
Okay.
Like, I like the 1 or 2 hours a night, when everyone's in bed, because I don't go to bed very early. I like that time to myself. I can think about whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. I can go watch kitten videos if I want. I can do whatever I want.
Isn't it nice, too? Because it's like absolute silence in the house at that time, too. It's perfect.
I do like podcasting, too.
Yes.
I mean, I don't, I'm not always, there's some podcasts I'm like, ugh, at least I got it done kind of thing. But I like the idea of not just the podcast that I work on or, I help with this other one. I like the idea that they exist. I like the idea that anybody can get their thoughts out and it can reach any audience. I don't know if that makes me happy, but I think that's kind of cool.
I think that's cool too. Okay. So 'cause you said something the other day that I thought was kind of funny. You said something about you thought relationships were going to be like Mad About You, the TV show.
Oh yeah.
And then because what you said was you thought it was going to be like where you guys hung out together and you sat on the couch and watched magazines together, those type of things.
Oh yeah. I totally thought, there's no way I'm going to have a marriage that's like my parents, where one parent is upstairs watching TV, the other is down, and the kids were in the middle somewhere. I don't live in a 2-story house because we live in Florida.
Right.
And I thought it would be more like Mad About You, right?
Right.
I just thought, but it's not.
It is not.
The reality is it's not.
But that's what I'm getting at. So sometimes you wanted that, obviously, but that's really not what would have made you happy anyway, because you want your time alone, right? Because I know when my husband was alive, I wanted my time alone. There was nothing better than me going in my room where it was nice and cool and quiet and dark and watching whatever I wanted on TV or reading what book I wanted to read and not being disturbed.
No, it's funny you say that, because while I like to be alone, like when everybody's up, I don't want to be alone. Like on the other day, my wife was watching, I don't know, she binge watches all these crazy, terrible TV shows. I'm just going to say it. And I have like zero.
We're just hoping Jackie's not going to listen.
I just have zero interest in them. And I always walk into her, I'm like, I'm bored. I'm bored. Because it's, it's like the middle of the day. I don't want to like
sit and watch TV.
Yeah. I think while everyone's up and doing something, I think, that's the time when I want to converse. But that's the time when she wants to zero in and just zone out and relax.
Oh, so you guys have your rhythms messed up.
Different rhythms. Yeah. But no, I think being melancholy is an easier emotion to grab for me than being happy.
Really?
Like I can be melancholy in a drop of a hat, and I could play a couple songs that get me in that mood right away. In most songs, for example, because I like music so much and work on music, most songs that I like, that I'm drawn to, are totally like sad, melancholy songs. Like happy songs almost irritate me. I'm like, it's just too cheesy. It's just not real to me.
So
there has to be strife in order for it to be interesting to me.
That is very deep. So you actually prefer, because your default.
Wait, are we flipping roles here?
Well, I'm actually
Let's see what's happening. Wax on, wax off, grasshopper.
So melancholy is kind of your default. Melancholy.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Interesting, because Kinley says that she enjoys when she becomes into that mode too.
Kinley, your daughter.
Kinley is my daughter. So we've had this conversation where she enjoys evoking that emotion herself. She does it in her art, in her music, the same.
I've written music. I was going to say crappy music, and that's pretty fair, accurate description. I've yet to write. I actually wrote a song about happiness. Like it's like this weird voice happiness, but it's written in a minor key. Like after I wrote it, I was like, "This is even a happy song." Like it's in a minor key. It's a default. I can't even make myself do it.
Oh, I'm so very happy.
Happiness sucks. Not that bad, but
that's funny. So melancholy makes you happy, though, in a way.
I don't know if it makes me happy, but it evokes something.
So it makes you feel something.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
That's what it is. Huh, interesting. I wouldn't say my default is melancholy. No. My default is definitely more upbeat, happier.
Joyous. I can tell that by your laughter. You got a great laugh.
Oh, thank you. I actually have seen that now, that I laugh. People have told me that I laugh with my whole body. I saw that on film. They're so true. My whole body laughs. It is true.
I don't know if I know. And clearly, the listeners aren't going to notice. I don't know if it's your whole body, but it's a deep laugh. It's pretty contagious. I'm not going to lie.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So no, I don't enjoy melancholy. So my music, I actually choose to fit the mood I'm in, but I don't choose happy music. But like if I'm going through a breakup or I'm going through a tough time, then I choose the music that would speak to me for the mood I currently have, not evoking a mood I want to have.
So let me ask you, like when you think of who's your like go-to happy artist, music-wise?
But they're not that happy. So
Insane Clown Posse?
No. My go-to is always the Foo Fighters, probably. Don't say that, because it's not that really happy. But they do make me happy to listen to most of their music.
Right.
It makes me happy.
Some happy, fun songs, like that song White Limo.
Yeah.
That's a fun song. It's almost comical.
But rap, I like a lot of rap, which is also a very negative in message. But the beat and the catch, the hooks, those make me happy. Because I grew up with a lot of R&B, so when I moved to Texas, I started listening to a lot of R&B music. I grew up on country music. God save me.
That's got to make you sad.
Yeah.
Almost
I stopped listening to it as soon as I got to Texas and realized there's a whole genre of music that I had never heard before.
Called?
Rap.
Rap.
Yeah, hip-hop.
Yeah. So in times of sadness, though, like sadness, can you, like, is there a thought that you can evoke or a song or something to get you out of it, to make you not even a 10 on the happiness scale, just to get you out of the minus and get you into the
this is
positives?
Gonna sound corny. So Pink. I love a lot of Pink's angst-ridden songs. They make me feel good. So,
you know what you just said, right? Her angst-ridden songs make you feel good.
That's true.
When
she's really ripping, you know what I mean? And she's like... A lot of that, it goes back to that aggression. I have a lot of aggression I have to release, I think.
Yeah, the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
So punching people makes you feel happy?
I guess so. If I had that opportunity, baby.
So, but...
Yeah,
there's a song by Pink that really pisses me off. Can I just tell you that?
Oh, my God.
It's she rhymes the word... I can't remember what it is, but she says something like, let's all get dancy or something. It's just the horrible... every time that song comes on... My wife loves that song, and every time that song comes on, it irritates the piss out of me because the rhyme is so bad. I can't remember. And I remember...
I don't know that lyric.
She makes up a word to rhyme. Let's all get dancy. I don't know. Anyway. Totally digression.
Is that the one that Raise Your Cup song?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not one of my favorites of hers.
One of the worst songs ever.
No, I like her breakup songs and the ones where...
Isn't that just total... Okay, so melancholy, angst-ridden songs make you happy?
That's true. So I'm really just contradicting myself. It must be the Doers.
I gain happiness in knowing that others are suffering.
Maybe that's true. Oh, no. Damn. Maybe I never thought of it that way.
All right,
this is not something I've ever contemplated.
What's a more powerful emotion, sadness or happiness?
Sadness seems to take over so easily, and so I think sadness, it definitely is bigger of a motivator.
So when you when you think about life, when you think about what you said, we all grow up. We may or may not have families. We may or may not have mortgages. We probably have jobs. We have all this responsibility. Within that spectrum of responsibility, it's quick to trigger stress, anger, as opposed to, yes, I got my mortgage bill today.
Yeah, exactly.
I am being so responsible. Adulting sucks is what we're trying to say.
Suck. It really does. Yeah, I wish I could do something that's not adults on at least once a day. But when you have kids, that doesn't happen anymore.
But even my kids, they're 17 and 20. I mean, I know maybe it's probably me, but my son has a part-time job and he stresses over the responsibility, and I don't think his default. I mean, I think your happiest moment is probably in utero. No, I'm just kidding.
Before you get out here and realize, oh my God, this sucks. That's possible. No, kids are happy. You're always happy as a kid, unless you're in a terribly violent home with, let's not go there. But
right.
I would say most childhoods, you have so much because you're untouched by the real world and responsibilities. So it's easier to be happy. And you're not as complex thinking at that point. You're just thinking about where I can get my next, sugar fix and that kind of thing.
Should life always be like that?
Right?
That's the pursuit of this conversation, the dissecting happiness, is to figure out what makes people happy, and partly so that, the listeners can take the journey, but also so that maybe people can connect with what makes them happy and kind of figure out what it is. Because it's all different for everybody, right?
Yeah, because now I'm sitting here, I realize I don't know what the hell makes me happy.
Well, darn, because you were supposed to tell me.
Yeah, but I contradicted myself. Apparently, I'm an aggressive person.
Yeah, I kind of fear for my life at the end of this podcast. Hopefully, if you don't hear from me, listeners...
Oh, I wouldn't kill you. Just punch a little bit. That's
right,
all.
I'll take a picture. Visual evidence of any happiness by Kim.
But I've always been a fighter, so my family has told me that. I've always been a fighter, so maybe that's just innate to my personality.
Fighting is a happy trigger.
I guess so. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Just depends on how you channel that.
Well, fighting for a good cause, fighting for your family, fighting just to get anger out and taking on strangers and joining the MMA, that's a different story.
Yeah, exactly. I have thought about taking up boxing, but...
You should totally do that.
Yeah. It's awesome, right?
Yeah. All right. I think the title of this podcast, I was going to call it Dissecting Happiness. It's not our podcast, right? So it's whatever Marisol wants to call it, but... I think it should be called Adulting Sucks.
It does suck. Yes, adulting sucks. I agree.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That
So
was
you got
quick.
so my idea of figuring out what makes you happy has really led you on a now beginning of your quest to figure out what really. I'm spreading discontentment far and wide.
Yes, you damn melancholy person.
I'm the anti-candy man.
Awesome. That's great.
All right, anything else you want to add? Wait. Okay, so having this conversation, let's
Yes.
introduce yourself again. You're Kim, and you're...
Aggressive.
That's better than I'm fucking pissed. Thanks a lot.
Wonderfully aggressive.
I'm Kim, and I'm going to fuck you up.
Hey, that's a great catchphrase.
Business cards, I can see it.
Right? Okay, so I'm Kim, wonderful and aggressive, but no, wonderful. That's all I'm going to say.
And I'm Sean, and I'm content. I'm happy.
You're supposed to
at
be
this
fucking
moment.
awesome.
And I am fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, and a big thank you to Marisol for allowing me to take over for a week. Miss Marisol, be sure to check out her blog at shityoucan'tmakeup.com or check in on her Instagram account at Marisol Podcast. I'm still Sean, the producer guy, and you can hear me on my own podcast, Dad Son. All one word, funny and candid conversations between a father and a son. We'll see you next time.